21 May 2023, Rio de Janeiro City, South America, RJ, Brazil. It looks like that you had a prosecution at the International Criminal Court. Welcome, Mr. Prosecutor. We will have at first that if you have a mobile or a computer and you had installation of partitions doing operations at your system after broke the intellectual asset at the company and the relation, you had to use this as a purchase deed or a license you have. In the same way, this kind of thing, every time you have a different partition, looks like that you must do some configurations again and again, and like the volume or something like this, or the background of your mobile. And in general, the integrated Bluetooth can't be unset, it's always on, and it used to operate masked levels, seems as communication. And of course that this creates clusters of information in a parallel structure as totally clandestine, violating your basic rights guarantees, as we could observe at the Brazilian Constitution. If you are in Brazil, this is totally illegal. If it's made by the department, has no excuse. This is the first thing you must have in mind. Patterns observed is that your battery will be kind of gone very fast. Your mobile or your computer will be kind of stuck all the time, interrupting the process. And will have conflict at exclusive service. And if you have an exclusive service like music, which is part of your contract, and you are not logged and had a consume, you kind of has quite clear elements to trace the problem or at least understand. We will present to you, Mr. Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, that the global threat passed through international system and is launched in general at the local area by local guidelines, considering the advantage and failures at the international system to have the interaction and the threats threatened we all in global scale. In general, will violate your basic rights and guarantees since individual until the diffuse areas, consume, communication, markets, and others. Was the idea we could check the show business operation 1, which was the white collar crime and the laundry scam, the part 2, and we used the IoT and financial elements as credit card in areas that you are, to understand how this risk bubble walk around and got interaction in global scale passing through international fail. We must have a model, and we offer a model to execute the orders from this court and others very soon. We are only refreshing our memory and present the case to you, Mr. Prosecutor. And we could check that the bondage, dominance, and submission goes basically as suppression to keep the control of things, set a parallel structure as institution, observed also as piracy at productive system, replacing the economy in global scale as production and money, investment saving curve and liquidity money curve, new ways of operations made at the market, considering the cryptocurrency and the transference all around by e-commerce with estimative values and insertion of new numbers or pretty Brazilian numbers as logical gaps. We only have to trace one element having or setting the concurrent interest to the players doing illegal things local or international that allow the combination to act in global scale as pandemic mobilization of the crime jump into the fire. They jumped This allowed us to get that without difference there are no difference even between players at the electoral system in USA having the purpose as obtain gain by all way. It doesn't matter if you are red or blue, you are illegal as red or blue. And obvious that you have this observed at your personal account, at your company, at your entire conjuncture, at your company. As we could check in the previous presentation, you will observe that the current patterns as scams using the cashback and the return of payment after the insertion in general combined with police discount allows you to obtain advantage and participation inside the capital asset as a structure, running things as an investment based on criminal purpose and storage of illicit money. Can be your sports entity on Spain, for instance, if it's linked with the terror as the basis of the financial activity. It's an extended member of the terror group or the terror organization on Europe. And goes like this: you had the decreasement of your capacity as decision by the internal control, which leads to the hiring process made by specific heads, with specific heads acting with under the commitment as lenient control complained by the OECD, the head and the chair number one as anti-corruption. And also this kind of level, which is the interaction level that must have the commitment of the corporation, was complained by the Interpol at the previous administration. We set the model to track this very easy, very fast, and with the accuracy desired, and we will offer this time the model to execute all orders against the offenders. Regular area with illicit activity, it's a circle linked with others, the interconnection. As we told, you only has as need the situation as track 1 as quadrant of the globe. This is the idea. The investment at your company or state, or your state as investor acting like this in holding, supporting or protecting illicit gains, criminals and criminal workflow, as observed that abusive procedure indeed are on Blazing Act. You must have the order in the United States to the company, offer those investors, seizure the money and send them to jail in order to obtain the plea bargain at them, and have filled the logical gap as premise considering the government, the corporative area and the states. The treason of states by the misuse can be made by the abuse or by the not enough and sufficient elements as attributes to execute the power. Without this condition there are no power as itself. As we told, the piracy present as the thing, but without the elements and attributes as the thing itself. Now, we are talking to you, Mr. Prosecutor, at the International Criminal Court. The model is quite simple. We will check that we have our local arena, which is the function as the judicial power, the police, and others. We will have the estimative as X, which are in general the international events as FIFA, Olympics, and stars, rock and roll parties, or things like this. And we will have something here which is our Z as global events, thematic panels at the health system considering the COVID, the environment crap talk, and many other things. As situation, as you can observe, the line as Y will have the continued, and also the line as X will have the continued patinha cama, only to show the different side of the same things. We will observe that situation, treason, all by corruption is corrosive and will be corrosive in both sides, and the thing presenting as each one of those things without attributes of none of them. We will check. Do you like, Mr. Prosecutor? So it's pro bono, but my right is compensation. I can't deny or put away as a guarantee. It's a right under constitutional conformance. We are charging 37 trillion, considering the financial penalties against the offenders, which are showing the systematic, continued, and incremental, I would say, behavior. Then we will check that our event here, for instance, we will have the COVID-19 as event, that will be here, or the thematic panel as environment, that will be crossed, or entertainment, with the X as international area hosting the global event, for instance, and striking your local activity in a very specific situation at this point, and then you will host, like you have the FIFA 94 on USA and another one on USA. And seems that the area as association international, local, doing the cohesive arguments or preparation according with the international schedule indeed exists. This is the idea that you, Mr. Prosecutor, must have. Now we will project that this area here, which are, in both cases, the legitimacy to apply the consequence as my local environment and institution in America, considering that they are corrupted on present time, and the way we observe all around, included Asia, are unable to offer or do a straight and serious and concrete decision against the organized crime without being affected by this. And we will have a filled space up to a open space here, setting the area as reciprocity or reply by the American institutions, considering this mobilization could be other area, but we are working with the USA, so we are presenting as USA. You can observe that you have an empty space here, considering those events, as you could observe here, they will probably be projected here from the Z as global area, since you do not have, you forget this and close it straight the global area. Or you will have the situation from global passing through international as functional committee, Olympic sphere for here and there, for instance, and having now the talk with the American institution, especially kicked from the antitrust justice. But you are part of the International Criminal Court that has no state, but representing, I would say, the interest as consequence of all states that had a signature as home agreement, right? So, your legitimacy is after this is empty space here, as you can observe, will be here up to here. 2028 as this point, 2028 on your arena, but with, you know, concurrent team as the USA, right? Could you understand? This area here as an empty space, right? We will be presented, for instance, as the America as interest to apply the consequence, the empty space, and the International Criminal Court considering the period. This area here as empty space, considering the situation here, will probably be presenting and representing the neutral area as jurisdiction. 3 boats, at least 1 bomb, considering the mobilization of global threats passing through the international system and transnational organized crime, as complained by the Interpol previous administration, real interaction in transcontinental level, having the basis the cybercrime, which is the base of this kind of crime by nature. And the local fail or corruption, considering the American institution, public and corporate, will be kind of equally, could be the Brazil, inside the boat. Brazil already had this even. It's under the same by equity or what else we do. So, any question? This is the holographic business model. And an asset under construction violated before got set, allowing the paycheck in the way we are charging 37 trillion flowing as factoring with condition as anti-crime budget 1% of first 3 trillion. To my right be flowed like this. Have a great week. I wish you success. It's a done deal this case. Even in the International Criminal Court. Showtime, and it's your time to play.